Hello. Hello. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for the invitation here to speak at Crypto Expo. This is my second time speaking at Crypto Expo Dubai, and it's always a pleasure to come and get to speak to all of you. Now, while I wait for them to bring up the presentation, I'm curious, just by a round of hands, raise your hand if you have ever traded the Atom token or you're familiar with the Cosmos ecosystem. Okay, we've got about 250 people out here in the audience, and maybe I see about 10 that have raised their hands. So we've got, this will be a good education experience. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the importance of leverage and what Levana protocol brings to the Cosmos ecosystem. So we're going to talk, what is Levana? Why should a protocol want to build on Cosmos? Why leverage is important to Cosmos? And our partnership with the largest spot trading decentralized exchange in the Cosmos ecosystem, Osmosis, and some advice for builders out there as to how to launch a leverage exchange within DeFi. So Levana is an acronym for leverage any asset. Levana is not the only perpetual swap. It's not the only way to make leverage within the decentralized finance ecosystem, but we aspire to create something that is designed to both be easy to use and capital efficient. Levana is built by and supported by some of the greatest names within the crypto ecosystem, such as Delphi Labs, Dragonfly, Arrington, CoinFund, Verify, Spartan, and more. The project has been in development for roughly 2 years, and we're excited to come to market in Q2 of this year. So what is Levana? Levana is designed to be the GMX of Cosmos. Now, if you're not familiar with GMX, GMX is the most successful perpetual swap decentralized trading platform within the Ethereum ecosystem. As the numerous market crashes showed over the last year, it's essential to be able to build a robust and resilient perpetual swap system. And whereas dozens of leverage trading platforms became insolvent over the last year, GMX is more resilient than ever, bringing in roughly $300 million of revenue in the last 12 months. Levana is modular, and it's built from the ground up to enable 30x leverage trading on hundreds of blockchains within the Cosmos ecosystem. In order to be able to achieve this goal, Levana realized that when it comes to leverage trading, there's really two different groups. There's institutional traders and there's consumer traders, and they have very different needs that it's important to cater to. For institutions, your exchange needs to have comprehensive APIs so that existing trading houses are able to plug their services into your exchange. There needs to be detailed documentation and sample code so that the onboarding experience of integration is as painless as possible. Then from the consumer or retail perspective, it's critical that the exchange be familiar, that it be easy to use, that there be ample mobile support, and that all of the social hooks that we've seen that have been successful within Web 2, such as memberships, leaderboards, competitions, are expressed in their equivalent form within the Web 3 ecosystem, which Levana will be bringing to market through premium membership expressed through NFTs. Levana has a number of unique aspects which separate her from the rest of the market. For example, providing low-cost leverage in decentralized finance, minimizing the insolvency or blow-up risk during times of high volatility within the market. Multi-chain deployment, being able to support Levana on literally hundreds of different blockchains simultaneously, and providing robust tools for validators of proof-of-stake networks to hedge their exposure as a key element to their business model. We'll dive into each of these in a little bit more detail. So every position on Levana is set with a max gain. And you can think of this like an automatic take profit. By ensuring that every exposed position in the market is paired with a point as to when that position will automatically be closed and the profits will exit the system, the back end of Levana can at all times recognize the risk that's exposed to the entire protocol's ecosystem, significantly reducing risk of insolvency. Now, if you're not familiar with what insolvency is, you can imagine that in the next bull run, as we'll hopefully see Bitcoin approaching and then passing 100,000, you can imagine that the majority of the market will go long with leverage. Now, if market sentiment is correct, then where exactly will all of those profits come from? If there's nobody on the short side of the market and everybody's on the long side, it creates an imbalanced market and thus exchanges become insolvent. Levana has solved this through a number of mechanisms as a core principle and differentiator of how we built a decentralized modular platform. Now, the crypto market has been plagued with insolvency and exploits. And so another core tenet has been to minimize insolvency risk both through natural market movements and through market manipulation. And this is something that we've put a lot of effort into, and we're excited to work with numerous firms from an auditing and penetration testing, including significant back testing with focus on the market collapses that happened over the last 12 months. Another differentiator is the modular aspect of the Levana platform. Whereas popular leverage trading platforms like GMX pool together capital in order to make an ease of use, the downside is that the pooled capital forces a limited set of assets that can be traded with leverage. Now, in order to add more markets, those markets need to create exposure to the previous liquidity providers. This means that you can't add small cap tokens, you can't add high risk tokens, and everyone that's a liquidity provider is taking on risk, not just for the liquidity that they themselves provided, but for the exchange as a whole. What Levana has done to change this is siloed each one of the markets so that a blow up risk to one market will have no impact on others, and each market can be deployed on an independent chain if need be, or could find its equilibrium between the risk and the cost of capital allocation for that independent market. And one of the things that I'm most excited about to bring to the Cosmos ecosystem is hedging for validators within proof of stake. Now, all Cosmos chains are secured by proof of stake. Proof of stake is an alternative to proof of work, where a validator that wants to be a block producer takes capital, locks it into the chain, and then uses that capital to provide consensus. Now, the problem is that those tokens are directionally exposed to the price of the underlying network. Now, this is not the same as in proof of work, where a miner or a mining facility buys physical hardware and the price of that hardware is relatively independent to the price of the underlying token. Validators today, and especially within Cosmos and the growing advancement of different Cosmos chains, are all subject to price fluctuations of the actual tokens, which impacts their business model. There's no means of hedging from a decentralized perspective the income and holdings from these validators. Levana solves this problem through cost-effective, delta-neutral mechanisms that is supporting all Cosmos chains. Now, you might be asking, I've talked a lot about Cosmos, and so from the raise of hands at the beginning of the lecture, many of you are probably not familiar with it. Cosmos is an ecosystem of blockchains that can scale and interoperate with each other. Before Cosmos, blockchains were siloed and unable to communicate with each other. They were hard to build, and they could only handle a small amount of transactions per second. Cosmos has solved this problem. Cosmos solves one of the most critical problems to migrating Web 2 infrastructure over to Web 3. Many Web 2 infrastructure requires very nuanced aspects, which trying to build them or work them into a behemoth chain like Ethereum or Solana is ineffective at best and detrimental at worst. The same reason why the backend infrastructure for Facebook is not the backend infrastructure for LinkedIn is the same reason why it makes sense to be able to have an ecosystem where hundreds of different businesses and protocols can all build and work together and communicate without the need to have a homogeneous infrastructure. Now, over the past 2 years since this is launched, the Cosmos ecosystem has grown significantly, going from roughly a dozen interconnected chains to today, over 50 chains are live on mainnet, with about 200 chains that are currently on a form of testnet. Now, we anticipate that there will be thousands of applications and blockchains running on the Cosmos technology and connected within the Cosmos ecosystem over the next 5 years. And the growth within Cosmos is outpacing the growth found in any other ecosystem within the crypto world. Even in the bear market, the numbers are pretty compelling. You know, the market cap for Cosmos is, the Cosmos ecosystem is over $10 billion. There's over 1 million monthly active users, and there's over 100 active protocols live in the market today. So the question is, how do you actually launch a new leverage platform? It's actually quite challenging, and there's a graveyard of failures in the past because you really create a chicken and the egg. If you don't have traders, then you don't get fees to attract liquidity. If you don't have liquidity, then there's nothing for traders to use to make those trades. So we're very excited to announce our partnership with the Osmosis Decentralized Exchange and the Osmosis Zone within Cosmos, which is the largest liquidity zone for automated market making and spot trading within Cosmos. So there's over 160,000 monthly active users on Osmosis today. There's over $180 million worth of assets that are currently provided as liquidity within Osmosis, and roughly $400 million was traded in the last 30 days in February of 23, with over $10 million collected to liquidity providers over the last 12 months. So the Levana Token, which will be launching alongside with the Levana protocol, will be launched in Q2, please God, of this year. And Levana is an open source decentralized protocol governed by the Levana Token, which will be minted on the Osmosis Cosmos chain. There will be a 1 billion fixed supply with 40 million tokens released at launch via farming and airdrops. The token will be used for decentralized governance, controlling things like which assets are deployed, how are fees managed, and which blockchains does the Levana protocol run on. And the Levana token will be critical for interchain network security, combining all of these instances of Levana across dozens and eventually hundreds of different blockchains. So how do you grow and launch a perp DEX? It's really from 3 different approaches. First is to create a broad token distribution through airdrops, attracting the right audience. Next is to ensure that you have community-led growth, which we're focusing on premium membership opportunities. And then to start with a loss leader of a large APR for early market participants. So in regards to airdrops, we will have token distribution to existing community members from our previous products to long-term stakers and to habitual farmers and to active traders within the Cosmos ecosystem and beyond. For premium memberships, we'll be offering discounted fees, referral programs where you can earn by inviting others, gamified hooks which have been found successful both within the Web 2 ecosystem and in general with other products in Web 3, and higher leverage on markets where it's sensible to support that. And in regards to farming rewards, there will be numerous farming programs where you as market makers or liquidity providers can earn high APRs initially. Obviously, the goal is to become a sustainable platform, so you can't offer things like 300% APR or estimated 300% APR for forever. Now, we don't know exactly what the rewards will be. That'll be subject to market conditions, but there will be large liquidity pools for atom deposits. There will be incentivized pools for providing liquidity for Levana on osmosis. There will be trader fee rebates and funding rate fees. Again, the market will decide exactly what the rewards are, but we can have our targets. In summary, the Levana protocol is an exciting protocol which demonstrates the power and flexibility found within the Cosmos ecosystem. Cosmos offers the best tech stack to build a massive application within crypto. Leverage is a critical utility needed to help Cosmos scale, and really any proof of stake blockchain to scale. Levana is designed from the ground up to help Cosmos grow, and Levana is partnered with the best-in-class on Cosmos, the Osmosis DEX, and we're really excited to be able to extend the spot trading that is found within Osmosis. And Levana has a killer go-to-market strategy that you can participate in. We're interested in speaking with liquidity providers, market makers, delta neutral traders and hedge funds, and leverage traders that are interested in getting exposure more within the Cosmos ecosystem and helping launch one of the most exciting products coming next quarter. It's one of the most exciting blockchain ecosystems that's actively growing in the space today. Thank you so much, and I'd be happy to speak at a one-on-one with anybody that's interested. And you can scan the QR code there to follow us on Twitter. Thanks so much.